Okay, so we're gonna make our pin cushion. This is how you guys can make it at home. This is the wrist piece. I'm gonna press it flat and then fold it in half. This is the wrong side of the material, so we're folding it in half. And I'm gonna press it. Okay. Now what you can do, cord is funky. Open it up, fold it toward the middle, so it gives you a guide where you want to fold in at. Okay. Turn around, fold in the other side. And press that toward the middle. Now we can fold it so that all of the seams are on the inside. And then just give it a good press again so everything lays nice and flat. Okay. Now at this end, we're going to fold it in like this and fold it. Actually, we'll open it up and do it because it'll make it a little neater. Kind of fold it in. Make it as neat as you can. That's just going to get your raw edge inside. Give it a good press. Okay. Now, I'm going to put a pin in it so it'll stay nice and hot. Okay, now I'm going to measure my wrist like this, and I want it to overlap by about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, say, and then kind of mark it like that, and then I'm going to cut it off because I don't need this, or I can save it for my, another part, and we're going to fold in the end on this end too, as neatly as you can, so that the cut edge is inside. Okay, like that. And press it again. So this will be the wrist part of your wrist pin cushion. Okay. So with doing that, we've made 2 pieces of our pin cushion already. This goes on the back of our pin cushion to hold our wrist or our wristband to our pin cushion, and then this is our pin cushion. This piece you don't have to worry about the folding in the raw edges because they're going to be inside the pin cushion when we're done. Okay? So let's go ahead and prep everything get everything prepped, ready to sew. And we're going to push our ironing board over, take our pieces, lay them out, and then get your sewing machine ready. Okay. With our wrist piece, we're going to start, I like to start on the side that has the opening, and I'm going to sew close to the edge, and I'm going to pivot like we showed you how to do in class. So we're going to sew all the way down, then we're going to pivot, go across, sew all the way up, pivot, and go all the way around the whole entire thing. Okay? quickly. Needle down, foot up, turn your fabric, go down, needle down, foot up, turn your fabric. And then don't forget to backstitch. I think I forgot to backstitch at the beginning. Okay, trim your threads. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this piece that's going to hold your wrist to your wristband to your pincushion. But the only thing with this is we don't need to pivot on the ends. We can just go down both sides. Okay. Oops. Okay, that piece is completely done. Now we need the Velcro to finish our wristband. And how you're going to put the wristband Velcro on, pull it apart, put one side here, and we're going to pin it so that it stays until you're ready. And then we're going to figure out the next part of where you want your Velcro. So you want it on, you want to make sure your wristband is not twisted. And so we're going to put this piece here and pin it. Okay. Now we're going to pivot some more. We're going to start on the edge. We're going to sew along on the edge, pivot, sew down, pivot, sew it up. If you really think that you're going to put a lot of wear and tear on your Velcro, then you would put, once you pivot all the way around, you would go kitty corner, over, and then kitty corner again, make an X in the middle. But I don't think we're going to be like tearing our pin cushions off all the time. So we're going to sew it down, needle down, pivot, and I'm just sewing right along the edge of the Velcro, like less than 1/4 of an inch in from the edge. I'm going to trim my threads. I think I forgot to backstitch again. So I'm going to go over the short end again, just because I think I forgot to backstitch. Okay. And then again, just trim your threads. Okay. So now, because you already have that pinned, you already know where your next piece will go. Now we're going to do the same thing on this. We're going to sew all the way around in the square, right on the edge. And I'm going to backstitch, pivot, pivot, Now your wrist part is done. This can be made any size. This is a very valuable thing to learn how to make, because doing this, you do a lot of this making purses, bags, making like bias type stuff like this. So it's very handy to know how to make that and make it neatly. Like the purse I made a couple months ago, you made your whole strap to match your purse just like this. Okay, so now to make, this part's done, we can set that aside. Now to make your pin cushion. So we're going to take our 2 pieces of, this will be the part that sits on top of your wrist. Take your bottom, face up, put this strap piece here in the middle, and then you're going to take your other piece and put it face down on top. This, and then you put some pins in to kind of hold it together so it don't move on you while you're sewing, because there's so many layers now right here. Okay, oop, give that a little press because it's on a little fold. Okay, all right. Now we are going to start sewing here, and we are going to sew here, and we are going to leave this spot open, okay, so that we can stuff it at the end. Okay, so we're going to sew up here and here. Actually, we'll just leave that whole end open. I think it'll be easier. And right, so I'm going to make sure we back stitch right now, because otherwise when we stuff it, it'll come undone. So more pivoting, so all the way down. When you come to the needle, you stop, take your pin out, so all the way down again. Don't forget to stop and take your pin out. And back stitch. Don't forget to back stitch. Okay. Now, we're to trim these off. Here. I don't need these pieces anymore. And trim these threads so they're not in our way. Now, the other handy thing you can do is trim the corners. I'm trimming off this extra material, but I'm not cutting into my stitches. Right there and right there. Okay. Now we're going to turn it out. Okay. All right, so now we have all of our pieces made. We flip this one out, and now there's a little strap on the back, okay? This is a piece of plastic. If you can find a thicker plastic, the thicker it is, the better it is. Then this is gonna stop the needles from going into your wrist. So you're just gonna, when you put your needles in, you'll kind of hit it and then you'll stop. Okay, so we're going to use this little solo cup thing. And I rounded out the edges so that it will slide in better and not catch the fabric. Okay, so we're going to put that in the bottom. And then we're going to get some stuffing. When you stuff, you're going to have your plastic up against the wristband part. So you're going to put your stuffing above the plastic. If I can get it in there. once you get a little started, it'll be easier. And you're gonna stuff little bits at a time. Okay, you can pause it. Okay. Now, I forgot to tell you to put your strap in. So you just slide your strap underneath the little teeny strap on the back. There, like, so now it's like that. And then you stuff it. Okay, so put your strap in before you stuff it. It'll make it a lot easier than trying to shove it in there once it's nice and full. Now it's quite full with stuffing. I got it kind of hard. And now you're going to push your stuffing down as far as you can get it. And like that. Push it in. And then you're going to kind of fold in your edges. So we don't want the edges sticking out. And then kind of pinch it together. And then you'll put a couple pins in to hold it all together, because that stuffing is going to be pushing out and you're going to want to hold it in. Okay. Like that. Next, you're going to need your needle and your thread. And then you're going to sew your end shut like we showed you in like week 2. So we're gonna go and bring your needle in to the corner so that your knot is hidden on the inside. And then you're gonna do your little applique or ladder stitch that we showed you how to do. Okay. So I got my end all sewed up, and I started here and I sewed all the way down, and then I turned around and I sewed all the way back because there's a lot of pressure on the seam, so I want to make sure it's not coming out. I tied it at the end and tucked my thread inside. So now your pin cushion is ready, and when you put your pin in, you can feel it hit that plastic. So as long as you're not going to shove it in, it should stop your pin from going into your wrist. So you can put your pin cushion on, and you're ready to sew. So then as you're sewing, you can stop and put your pins in. Okay.